Hola, bienvenidos, ¿cómo están? Bueno, pues esta es nuestra plática número 9 para MDWeekend Inspiration. Estas pláticas las estamos haciendo, justamente porque Kevin y yo creemos que es importante tener siempre referencias visuales y bueno, qué mejor que las referencias visuales para crear maquillajes y efectos especiales, pues que las películas, el cine y sobre todo pues conocer la historia, ¿no? Un poco de ellas, un poco de lo que ha habido antes, ¿no? Años atrás y todo lo que viene y nos ayuda a crear nuevas cosas. Entonces, bueno, pues esto es justamente, les quería recordar un poco de por qué estamos haciendo MDW Weekend Inspiration y bueno, pues que al principio empezamos publicando solamente fotografías y ahora pasamos a un formato de video que estamos publicando en nuestro canal de YouTube, que por cierto, no les he dicho que se vayan a inscribir ahora mismo.
Suscríbanse, síganos.
Sí, suscríbanse. Y bueno, pues eso es justamente el objetivo, la razón. Empezamos Kevin y yo y después dijimos, necesitamos más energía positiva, entonces le llamamos a Gabriel y ahora ella está con nosotros también haciendo estas pues pláticas, ¿no? Decíamos al principio que son pláticas entre amigos. Somos profesionales del área que nos gusta mucho los efectos especiales y el maquillaje. Sin embargo, no somos como tal, bueno, por lo menos Kevin y yo no somos profesionales como tal de crítica de cine. A lo mejor Gabriel tiene un poquito más de experiencia, ¿no? En cuanto a eso, pero bueno, por lo menos nosotros dos no somos como tal críticos, pero nos gusta platicar sobre las películas, nos gusta reflexionar sobre las historias y todo esto. Entonces, bueno, pues es lo que venimos haciendo ya desde hace 2 meses más o menos, pues si esta es nuestra 9ª, pues sí, justamente ya son 9 semanas, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, pues sí. Ya. Voy a terminar la introducción. How are you guys?
Good.
Yes, no strange things there or zombies, vampires, this time aliens.
Just riots here.
Yes, yeah. That's true. Let's see what. But no. Let's skip a little bit that part of the history of humanity.
Yes, please. Let's go back to 1979.
Yes. So today we chose Alien, and we said, well, we all know that there are like a lot of numbers of movies about this alien. But we chose only like the 2 first movies, and we said that if we wanted, we could just talk about the design or the elements of the further movies. But let's start with this one, with the number 1, with en español es Alien el octavo pasajero. In English,
I don't understand.
What is it?
The 8th passenger.
The 8th passenger. In Spanish, that's how they call it, no? It's Alien, the 8th.
I like that. That's actually kind of cool. It's not needed because Alien by itself is such a cool title. If they just called it the 8th passenger, it would be cool, but not both.
Well,
yeah, the problem is both, and the issue is that it's not like the real 8th passenger, you know, because there's also Bones the cat.
That's right.
Spanish translators and doing their magic always.
Yes, it's like the second part. It's called, well, in English I think it's just Aliens, no?
Aliens.
And then in Spanish it's something like the comeback, el regreso. It's como, what?
Yes.
Like the return of the alien.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the return of the alien. That's the thing. So, well,
that's horrible.
We are. I know. I don't like it when they go, and it happens all the time. It's just like, I'm watching, and then you say the title in Spanish, and then when you try to find it in English, it's like, that's not the name in English.
Home Alone, for example.
Which one?
Home Alone.
Mi pobre angelito.
What? So they call it like my poor little angel.
Uh-huh.
Spanish.
Angel.
Home Alone.
Okay.
Why? Yeah. So we have like this surrealism in the titles.
Well, kind of on that note, the Alien was originally called Star Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Dan O'Bannon and Ron Shusett were the original writers, and they came up with Star Beast. And it was going to be a low budget. At one point, it was going to be a Roger Corman movie. And Roger Corman was a famous producer of low budget movies for decades. And but then the script kind of found its way into other hands, and they saw potential in it at 20th Century Fox to make it a big budget movie or bigger budget movie. And then that's when it transformed into Alien.
Yeah.
Which is much better than Star Beast.
It said they say also that the script had like a million times the word alien. So the producers, I think they were the ones that said like, nah, it's like, let's just call it Alien.
I think it was Dan O'Bannon, one of the writers, because he knew Star Beast was kind of an awful title, and they kept referring to the creature as an alien, and he said it kind of dawned on him that it's like, why don't we just call the whole thing just the title of the movie, Alien?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
So it's better.
yes,
Yeah.
elegant. Yeah.
Totally.
Simple. It's just one word.
And you remember it easily.
Yes, exactly. So it came out in 1979, in May, if I am not wrong. And it's the story. It's about like how do you say this? Like a starship that it goes like that brings something to Earth, no, back to Earth.
Right.
A cargo ship.
Cargo ship. Una nave de carga.
Sí, una nave de carga.
Yeah, their spaceship is almost like a tugboat pulling a bigger boat, or maybe like a truck, like a big truck on the highway that you see, and there's a cab in the front that pulls all the cargo in the back, and all that cargo is, it's never really, or maybe it is, I forget, like ore and mineral samples. And it's almost like a refinery of some sort that they're pulling. Exactly. And they're returning from deep out in outer space back to Earth. But it takes so long that they're suspended animation. They have to hibernate.
Yes, because they got like a call, no? Like a SOS call, something like that. And then they have to land. Well, they respond to that call, and they have to go to the LV for I don't know what number.
439 or whatever it is. Yeah, it's like they're required if there's a distress signal, that they have to investigate it in case it's colonists from Earth or something, or just out of general scientific curiosity or whatever. It's like the law. They have to go check it out.
Exactly. And then they get there, they find a spaceship.
They find a spaceship, yeah.
Yes. And they find the pilot.
Yes, which is amazing.
I found that spaceship over in Burbank. It was sitting in a driveway.
Really?
The big alien spaceship. There's a guy named Bob Burns, and he collects all kinds of stuff.
But the original one, the one they used in the movie?
How did he get it?
From 20th Century Fox. He had a small collection, and at the time they said, would you take care of these? Because 20th Century Fox didn't want them. They weren't going to use them. So he ended up with a few things. We can talk about that in a little bit. Because it's interesting how the ship was made, but we'll talk about it.
Yay.
Okay. So yeah, they go to the planet, they land there, and they find this weird looking thing that is a alien spaceship, and they go inside, and what do they? And the pilot is there too. Yeah, the space jockey, which is awesome, and then It's so cool.
Amazing and enormous, and
Yes.
I like the detail on it too. That it has latex stippled on it and then peeled up, so it has like all kind of layers and depths to it and everything. Yeah, it's very nice.
I love how they managed to like for us the to see the place like very big and like the set well done and that everything is like giant.
Hmm.
I love that perspective. I love it.
Which was a battle too with 20th Century Fox because it was going to cost so much money, and it's like you're not going to be in here for that long.
Yeah.
Just make more like a plain wall behind it, and they finally convinced them to let them make that set because it's like it's gotta be great.
Which is amazing because now it's like, well, I now see it like it's a work of art. Like if you
Mhm.
could have that in a museum or whatever, it's amazing.
Yeah.
well, it's because it's made from
See,
an artist. I
exactly.
mean, that's why, no? Because
Yeah.
H.R. Giger is the one behind Alien Design, and also the pilot.
Exactly.
The pilot and the sets and
Well, the whole
well,
design of
The whole
Alien.
thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, not so much the Nostromo ship, but the alien ship definitely, and even the outside landscape and the alien, the different versions of the alien. And, yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because he was just like very obsessed with the biomechanics, and it shows, no? Everything, instead of looking like very solid, it looks like everything is alive with all this tubing and all these forms, and also how the aliens can actually just mimic all the spaceships.
spaceship.
That's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which influenced design for years. Everyone was doing biomechanical stuff with segmented tubing, set into the sculptures, and until you just got so sick of it, stop doing that. think of your own thing.
Yeah.
But the first time that you saw that was pretty groundbreaking, pretty amazing. To see like while they're walking through the interior of that ship, and it's like what is this thing? Like is it supposed to be like partially alive, or it's cool.
Yes.
So many design elements on this were brand new. Some of it's influenced a little bit because it's the 70s and we've gone through a little bit in 2001 and 68, but mostly Star Wars, where the machinery and the vehicles looked used. They were kind of dirty, the paint was chipped off, things like that, like to make them more realistic, as opposed to shiny chrome spaceships from the 1950s.
Yeah.
This takes that same sort of design ethic for the Nostromo and everything, but then when we see the alien ship, it's just like nobody's ever seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Being all asymmetrical and strange, and there's which is the front, which is the back.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Because it's like a circle.
Right.
Yes, exactly. And then it's what I also like. This is not the first time the movie has been called like that. Actually, that's the style of the movie. It's terror and science fiction, no? So I just became with that idea because after they find the pilot, then the guy goes a little bit further or ahead from the ship, and then it shows the X, and then suddenly something gets him, no? And then he comes back to the ship, and then you see this thing which is something new. It's something like we are saying, no? It's something that we have never seen before. It's there. Those are designs like pretty new for a movie, for a story. So that makes it also like terror science fiction movie, and it suddenly develops into more, no?
And it's actually very cool because you are seeing these designs for the first time in movie history, and also they are seeing this creature, the face hugger, like for the first time ever. I mean, you don't know what happened to Earth. You know that it's more advanced because we are now in space and all that. But the humankind never watched this creature before. They don't know what is. They don't know if they can actually take him out or cut it. You know what happened when it cut it? They have acid blood. So this is completely new for the spectator and also for all the crew, which is like very, very cute and awesome.
Yeah, they make us feel like no one, not even us that we are watching the movie, not even them that are in the movie, they don't know anything, no? That's the feeling that it makes me.
It's a nice a nice concept too with the acid blood, that it's like, well, then we can't cut it, we can't shoot at it. You know, there's no, like, how can we kill it without killing ourselves? Because it'll melt a hole through the wall of the spaceship.
Yeah. And then we have, what is this, like our fourth movie with
flamethrowers? Yeah, we're back to flamethrower movies.
You should buy one and have it in your set for MDW Weekend inspiration.
Right.
Okay. What else?
Yeah, well, they're and it's basically they're like truckers in space, and they don't all get along all the time. They're kind of squabbling. But now Kane has this creature stuck to his face, and they don't know how to get it off. And then, so they back off. They don't know what to do. And then one day, Ash, the doctor, the scientist, calls him and is like, "You better come take a look at this." And Kane is just sitting there, and the thing is gone off of his face. And we should say too that it inserts a tube down into his body. I don't know where it's going exactly.
No, it's not through the throat.
It's through the throat, and down into his lungs or into his stomach or something.
I think it's like in the
stomach, no?
Stomach.
Yeah. And it's sort of like those wasps or whatever they are that sting like a spider, and they plant the eggs inside, and then the eggs grow. They turn into little larvae that then eat their way out of the spider, whatever the host is, which is so disgusting. Yeah. And that's kind of the concept behind this too, that we learn that something has been left behind inside of Kane as when this thing died and crawled away. Its life cycle is continuing, just in a different form. And that leads us up to probably the most famous scene in the movie, which is the chest burster.
Yes, where I saw in the behind the scenes that when they did that scene, the actors didn't know they were going to be like full of blood and everything. So one of the actress that does Lambert, I think, is like scared, and like the reaction is natural because she didn't know. I was like, what?
At least for the first take, you might be able to scare some people. Yeah. But it's pretty cool, and we get a little version of what's going to grow up now. He's just going to keep growing into the final. Which, if I may
say, I think it grows very fast. I mean, I know we don't have like a movie of 5 hours like to see how it grows and everything, but I think they like do it very
basically
fast.
Full grown the next day.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know if...
So,
it's because you don't have like a lot of time and budget. I mean...
I know. I figured that, but it's like, that fast? It's like, well, at least they could have used maybe like 3 days after or whatever, no? But it's just like super fast.
Well, maybe because you're in the game of the movie, you can actually cope with it, because actually Ash is the one that says this is an amazing creature that doesn't have any predator, and it's perfect, and it's perfect for killing humans. Yeah. So probably if you enter like in this game, you are well with it.
Yeah, you're right.
He's fast. I mean, you can shoot him. He actually grows faster, and then in the other movies, they actually are smart. So, yeah.
Yes.
So now we get to see the full size alien, which is a pretty amazing design that Giger came up with, H.R. Giger, and completely original and new at that time. That there were all the Ray Harryhausen monsters. There was all the Godzillas. There was all kinds of monsters. They usually had scales or fur, whatever the specific monster was. This was that biomechanical, bizarre, like you just never seen anything.
Organic.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, I remember watching it in '79 in the theater, and seeing it for the first time, and it's like, that's disgusting. It's like, because I would always want to make like a version of like monsters that I liked and everything. And the first time I saw it, it's like, because he has like the tubes on his back that stick out, and it's just like so strange looking the first time.
That and the tail.
The tail, that cool skeletal tail.
Amazing.
But it's like, I don't want to make that. That's too creepy. And now it's like, it's so beautiful. It's like such a cool design.
Yeah.
And just the tons of KY jelly slobber coming out.
I love the teeth. The teeth.
Oh, yes.
It's like
chrome teeth.
Which ones?
The
ones.
The first ones. Yeah, the one, because with the little like embryo or whatever, the first thing that goes out from the stomach of the guy, the teeth are like metal, no? Like little. Yeah. But then I love the other ones, like the ones that show like they seem like crystal. Those. It's like amazing.
The queen alien in Aliens has almost like translucent teeth, as opposed to the chrome teeth alien hair. But that was Giger's design, Giger's creation, basically, but also Carlo Rambaldi, who did the 1976 King Kong, the mechanics for that, and Rick Baker did the sculptures and cleared the suit. He did the mechanical head, where the lips could move and the jaw can open and the tongue can punch out and all that. So there's a few.
It's lovely.
It's great.
It's
in
super job.
Real life, because here in Mexico they came with an exhibition of Giger, and they had the alien head. So if you need those images, I can send them to you. And it's just lovely. You can see like the layers of latex, almost yellowish, because it's been like too long.
And it's something too that that suit was like slip latex.
Yes.
That basic. And I know Giger was very upset because he wanted it to be translucent, but the materials just weren't available at the time, really. Like you could do it now, no problem. You can make a silicone suit, but back then it would have been really tricky. But it looks great.
Yeah.
As basic as it is, as simple of a thing. It's just the design is so strong, that it doesn't, and it's shot so well that it doesn't really matter that it's a big slip latex suit.
But the design is strong. But also, like, I think the suits and everything, they are, even if they didn't did it with the proper materials that Giger wanted to, like the performance of the persons that were there, the suits by themselves, that's also like why it looks very nice, because sometimes it doesn't matter you have like super nice design if you don't work well the suit or the whatever they are carrying. It doesn't matter about the first design. So it's the whole work.
Yeah, everything is connected, because if you have, it's also what happens with Jaws. If you have the alien like too much time in screen, you can see some failures, and you can see like he's not that fast. He runs like a little bit slow. His he doesn't see well, and along, etc. No, so if you have like a longer time, you can see all those failures. So they also make like this amazing edited this edition, so you can actually see like, oh my god, he's going to kill me, and I can't do anything about it.
They played around a lot with the performance of the alien himself, just to get like different, very slow movements. And there's that shot where he's walking forward, and it's almost like a ballet sort of in slow motion move where he does his hands, and it's just strange. It's just to make him even more weird, just his movements like that.
And they blend them very nicely with the environment. And on the ship, he can actually just cuddle in a place, and then you need to double take and see it closely so you can actually be aware that he's there.
There's a shot where Brett, Harry Stanton, is looking for the cat, and he goes down and he's under the landing gear, and there's all the chains. I don't know why they would have chains, but and all the condensation, all the water dripping. And there's a shot of the alien that they cut out, but you could find it, where he's just kind of suspended up in the air. He's got his arms out and his head down and his tail is curled around. And he's just kind of swinging a little bit back and forth like the chains. And that's, you almost like, now you know what he looks like, but then they should have left it in. It's a really cool shot.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think they were so used to the movie, and they knew what the thing looked like, and maybe it's like, I don't want to risk showing the whole thing just yet. But he's almost like Christ-like, hanging in the air. It's so cool.
Yes, I like it.
So now we have the full-grown alien.
Oh, yes.
And Kane is dead. Brett now is killed by the alien. And Parker and Ripley see the alien take him up and away wherever. And then they all meet up to, how are we going to kill this thing?
Yeah.
This was after, didn't it get, is this before or after Dallas, the captain gets it? This is after, right?
After Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas gets it first. They're looking for, that's how it was. They're looking for the little guy, not knowing that he's a big guy now. And Dallas is in the airways, with the flamethrower, and they're going to try to drive it out to a door, an airlock, and shoot it out into space. And now it's revealed that this thing is huge. It's, big as a man, and it gets Dallas, and which is kind of shocking. It's almost like when Janet Leigh gets killed in Psycho. It's like she's the star. It's like what's going on? And when Dallas gets killed, it's like, whoa, it's like nobody's safe, because I thought he's the captain. I thought he was the star of the movie.
But no,
and
we have another star.
Yes, and I saw that head that's in that shot is the stunt head. It's not the mechanical head. It doesn't do anything. It just has like the teeth showing. I saw that in person, and I was looking at it, and inside usually there's a helmet or a skull cap, usually fiberglass, something in there to put it on the actor's head. They had a really thick piece of armature wire that was attached to the head and came down in a loop, and they just crammed that onto the actor's head. And I guess because it was adjustable, because it's a piece of wire, but it must have been miserable to wear it.
Yeah, very painful, no?
Wire.
And it was just here? Nothing like
it was just
hold the weight here?
There might have been a strap so that it didn't rock around. There must have been. But I just remember the piece of armature wire is like how primitive, and just stick that on it. It's like, okay.
Because having that for a couple of hours, it could be like a nightmare.
Yeah, because the actual custom fit fiberglass skull caps that we normally use get painful enough after a while, let alone aluminum wire. But yeah, so they kill off the major character there, and now it's revealed that this thing is very big and very dangerous. They go to look for it, but the cat gets loose, and they don't want to mistake the cat for the alien, and so that's when Brett gets it. And yeah,
at some point
we've lost.
I thought
3 people.
when I saw the movie at one point, I thought the cat was gonna be the one having the alien. No? That's
Right.
what they kind of make you think, or at least like at the end of the movie, it's like I think that cat has something.
It's the cat.
Yeah.
It's a great shot when Brett finally finds the cat, Jones, and it's like, come here. And the alien comes down behind him, and the cat's like, what? And Brett doesn't know. He's just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
You know, but it's a good reaction. Good acting on the cat's part.
Good acting of the cat. Give him an Oscar.
Yeah.
You know what? Usually they do when they have a cat hissing like that. And I saw this when we were filming American Werewolf in London, and there's a scene where the guy who's going to turn into the werewolf walks outside, and a cat sees him, and it hisses. What they do is they have another cat, and they just kind of hold it down there. The cat doesn't know, and it hisses because it's like, I don't know you, and that's what cats do, you know, with a strange cat. And I didn't know how they did it before, but that's how they do it.
I didn't know. Now I know. Thank you, Kevin. Okay. So, and the other thing I wanted to say, I don't know if it's time or not, but I'm gonna say it. About the suit, like the guy that it's inside.
Mm-hmm.
He really does a really nice performance. I don't know how is the name?
It's like Badejo, Badejo, something like that.
Something like that.
Can't pronounce it.
No, me neither. But he does a really nice job, and he's so tall.
He's super tall and super skinny.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a second suit, at least one more suit for the stuntman. But yeah, that guy is really good, and it's so helpful to have somebody so thin and to make the suit so tight on him, because anytime you add, it can look really bulky and just kind of heavy, you know, because you're just adding stuff on. But he was so skinny to begin with that it still has that very insect
and again
look to it.
It doesn't make me feel like it's a suit, like I said before with the werewolf. Like you see it in the first time, and it's like, it's not a suit. I mean, I know it's like a combination of this electronic or statues or whatever. I don't know how to call it, no? Like cosas mecánicas y todo, ¿no?
Biomechanics.
But it's also a suit. Like at a point, it's a suit. And then you don't see it at certain point of the movie. The only part I think I see it is at the end when he goes out. No, that's I think the only part that you actually see that is someone in there. But otherwise, it's a very nice performance in there.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's hard to get around that it's a guy in a suit, and it's because you're only seeing him in pieces all through the movie. You don't really know what he looks like, and then it's revealed right at the very end. And you know, what are you going to do?
You can't do anything about it.
No.
You needed to take him out of where he was hiding.
Yeah.
So it's going to show.
No, but I don't say it like a bad thing. I mean it's a very good thing. Like you see the suit and because that also tells you that like the biomechanic thing. It's a creature that kind of goes with humans, with the shape of humans, no? But at the same time, it's an alien.
And it's the stuntman in the suit doing those shots. So he's not as long and lean, thin as the main actor. You know, he's just like a guy in a rubber suit, so he's a little more squatty. It looks, you know, it might have been better, with the other guy in it, but he's not a stunt man. So.
Yeah. Okay.
But now we're up to, we've lost 3 people, and so Ripley, who was like second in command, she's like, I'm captain now, I'm taking over, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And she goes to the computer, the main computer that runs the ship, to get some information, and finds out that all their lives are expendable. The only thing that's important is to get the specimen, the alien, back to Earth, you know. And we then find out Ash is not exactly who we thought he was.
Yeah.
Or what we thought he was.
What is more precisely?
Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty cool. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's only, so we find out he's an android. He's a human-looking robot, and I really liked how they did his insides.
Yes.
It was like, he doesn't have blood. He has almost like this milk-looking stuff inside. They use a lot of little fiber optics. They use little glass marbles. You think like they would be like parts of his brain, or like making up his nervous system, because they bash his head off and stick his head on a table, and he's just surrounded by all of what would be his guts.
We have them. I'm just gonna say a very bad joke. Milky Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, because it's Ian Holm. The only thing that takes away from it is the fake heads aren't the greatest, but you know, there's a couple of quick shots where they have dummy heads, and then it's kind of British, 1979 British quality of makeup effects. It's like,
but the head,
you can.
The head when he is like with the white, the milk and everything, that's his head, no?
When it's him,
yeah.
When it's Ian Holm, it looks great. And what they do, the effect they put on his voice when he's talking to them is really cool. And even his little speech at the end about how the creature has no pity and no remorse, and I admire it, you know.
And that makes him perfect, no?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's like so good, and they're like, God, burn him up. They shoot, they flamethrower.
But you can actually see it's very obvious, and also because there's been like a lot of years since they made it, so it's very obvious. You can see when it's the actor, when it's the rubber head.
Even then, it was very obvious. It's like that head's not so good, you know, compared to even a couple of years later, the stuff. Well, at the same time, the stuff Dick Smith was doing and Rick Baker was doing, you know, that was so nicely done. And you know, if you did a fake head, it was very accurate to, you know, what the actual actor looked like. You know, it wasn't, I don't know what happened with the process there, but yeah, it's like someone else's head, and then it's like Ian Holmes, and then it's someone else's head. I mean, that's how off it is.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a cool sequence too. That it's like, whoa, you know, okay.
And again, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
I am always going to point out the ones that are disgusting. That's my job in this chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's cool.
I know, see, I'm not saying it's not cool, it's just disgusting.
Well, I like fluids so much, sorry. I don't have any problem with fluids, and that's one kind of fluid I actually love, like this milky, translucent blood liquid fuel. Don't know.
Yeah, it's not explained at all what it is. It's just his blood is that, whatever that liquid is inside of him. So now they're like, okay, now that, you know, there's just the 3 of us, and we got to get out of here. We're just going to abandon ship and get into the little lifeboat that the ship has. And they in the process of doing that, the alien comes to find Lambert and Parker as they're preparing to get into the lifeboat. And that's when we see the cool movements of the performer in the suit. And they had shot a lot more stuff. Like, he actually came in on his hands and his feet and his hands, like leaning backwards with his tail sticking out that was on a wire, and crawling forward on the floor and then standing up. They tried all kinds of different things. I think it's on YouTube. I've seen it a couple different places. It's actually pretty cool, but they just went with him kind of, you see him, his shadow, and he's moving around while Lambert is doing stuff, and it's like, you know, he's back. And then you have those cool shots, and then there's one where he rears up, and he's like really big now at this point, and she's just terrified, and his tail goes between her legs and up to like spike her in the back, which is actually Brett's legs. It's Harry Dean Stanton's legs, because that scene was from when he's attacked, that the alien puts his tail behind you, holds you, and then hits you. But they used it with Lambert. And I guess it's almost like, because she's a woman, and it's more like this alien rape possibility that is to make it more disturbing. You know, I don't know, but I thought it was interesting.
Was an expert for that.
I
must say that.
Because you can see, because Lambert wears cowboy boots, and you can see that it's Harry Dean Stanton's shoes. So now we're down to Ripley, and she sets the ship to self-destruct, and she gets into the lifeboat, ditches the ship blows up, and she's okay. You know, I'm
safe.
I'm safe. You know, everybody's dead. I'm alive. Me and the cat. And then she discovers that, of course, the alien got onto the lifeboat. And it's really cool because you can't see him. His head is up, and the shell is painted a little bit to match the metal work. And she doesn't notice it until like his hand comes out, and it's revealed that it's like, of course the alien is with her still.
Yeah. And that's where she's like trying to figure out how to take out this thing. She goes inside like a cupboard or whatever it is. Then she puts the spacesuit, yes. And then she tries to she opens the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then
she tries. At first, there's some cool shots where she's looking at the alien, and he's just kind of laying there, and like he opens his mouth, and the tongue comes out, and goes back in, and you can actually see, because everything else happens so quickly, but now we can see that's what that looks like, and that's what he's doing. And I heard a long time ago that it was from Ridley Scott or some interview that I read back when it came out, that the idea behind him just chilling on the shelf there was that he was dying. Like he had lived his lifespan and now he was slowing down. That's why he didn't just jump out and attack Ripley, that he was just kind of slowing down. He was going to die soon.
Like by himself, like because he was...
Yeah. He lives, live fast and die young.
Exactly.
That's what the alien does.
Because they grow up so fast, like from one day to the other, it was already super big, and then it just like, what do you want, like another day, and then he's like dying?
Insect, no? A lot of insects just have like a couple of days of life. And
Yeah, I mean, that's like its life cycle is just a few days, and then it's done. But it's still like really dangerous. So Ripley comes out, she's got a spacesuit on, and she starts pushing buttons to vent out different gases or steam or something to try to get him out. And then she's going to open the door, and when all the air goes out, hopefully the alien goes out too.
Yeah.
And I don't know why she shoots him with that harpoon gun.
because she tries like with the
to
like
burn him.
To burn
Yeah.
him with the
Because she closes the door on the gun, and so he's like comes back up and tries to climb in, and then she turns the engines on and just destroys him that way.
She
So
wants
it's
to make sure that he's actually
Dead.
yeah, maybe. But
I will.
It's a really cool effect because it's just water pouring out of
with like
the engines. Yeah, it's just set up so that it's facing down to the floor, and they just light it from behind and pour water out, and it looks like plasma fire or something coming out of it.
Yeah. But
It
it's
looks
also
cool.
with the teeth, like when he's like bubbling acid, it's just water, like a lot of water, maybe with glycerin, I don't know, but I know it's water.
There are some shots, where he's like, it's almost like he's buzzing, like his lips are opening, and it is just like pouring water out of his mouth. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then there are shots where it's like it's thicker, and it's like I've heard that it's KY. I don't know. I think
KY.
I would think you would use Methacel. It'd be more cost effective, but maybe they couldn't get it, and they just use KY. But yeah, a lot of times it's water pouring out.
Yeah. And then we have Aliens, El Regreso.
Yeah, so where Alien is like almost like a haunted house movie. Like you're in a house and there's a monster in here. It's very dark and very gothic and very deliberately paced. We get Aliens, which is like a combat movie, a military action movie. So
and now
it's
we
more
have
like
James
roller coaster.
Cameron, no? Like to direct it. So that's why also the style and the speed of the movie is different, no? I love the first one, but I have to say that I think I like more the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of the speed of the movie or the also like what I really like about this second one is that we can see a different style of aliens because I mean talking about the design and now we can see where they come from and I think that set that all that design of to know where they are coming from and like to see further, not just I mean the first time was okay because we saw like all these concept of the kind of the spider and it puts something inside and now that we know that it's very interested to see the other part, no? So I think that's why I think I like more the second one.
Yeah, because I mean the alien it's a parasite and it has to have a host to plant the seed to then become what it's finally going to become. But it's like, well, where do the eggs come from? In the alien, you don't know. They're just on that ship. Are they growing them there? Are they transporting them? It's like you don't know, and it's never explained. Yeah. But in Aliens, we find out where all the eggs go. Because now that planet where Alien took place has been colonized by people from Earth. And they have now lost the signal, like radio transmissions. They can't get anybody on the phone. And so they're going to launch a mission to go there and see what happened and make sure everyone's okay. Yeah,
that's where they invite Ripley to go with them because she's been there and she kind of knows. Well, that's how they put it, but
because she's on the hook. They blame her. She's responsible for blowing up the Nostromo and the refinery and everything.
Because actually she did.
She did, and it's like, and they don't believe her that there was an alien. They think they don't know what to think. She just has lost, billions or trillions of dollars worth of equipment is gone because of her.
But she also lost 57 years.
I was going to say that, like, if she really was sleeping for 57 years, because it kind of make me confused about that because she's like in between dreaming and between the reality. Like she's like talking with that guy, and that guy says like, well, I don't know if someone told you, but you have been for sleeping for 57 years. And then suddenly she starts like crawling and with the pain, and then this thing comes out, no, and then she wakes up. So that's where I don't know if she was actually dreaming.
That she learned it in the dream.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was.
It's real, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She
was having a bad dream, because that's part of the main plot, that she's having these nightmares, and also it's real because she actually lost her daughter.
Right. She had a daughter that
died.
Grown up and died at this point.
Okay.
At 66.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's not a dream, it's real.
Okay.
And they convince her only because there's a lot of money involved, because of humans, to go with them.
Yeah.
Again.
And she says, they're crazy, you shouldn't go there, she can't even believe that they had a colony there. And Burke tells her, like, oh, don't worry, we're bringing like the ultimate badasses with us. These are, these soldiers are like the toughest, they're the best, and they'll protect us when we get there.
And also the catch is because she believed, Burke, that they actually are going there to terminate Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's search
right.
and destroy.
Yeah.
That's it. And that doesn't go as planned.
No, she should have learned, because that was the whole point. Yeah, exactly. In Alien, that it's like the evil corporation that wants the alien. I mean, it's just basically the exact same thing.
Yeah. Well, the only kind of different thing is that this time the android that goes with them, he's not planning any awful tricky thing, no?
Right.
He's actually helping them in the like.
And Ripley doesn't like him. She doesn't trust him just because he is an android.
And because Ash.
After Ash, I couldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So she doesn't like him, and that's Lance Henriksen, who's a cool guy and a really good actor.
Yeah.
Playing what was his name?
David.
No, that's in the later one.
Bishop.
Yeah.
Bishop. Yeah.
Bishop.
Yeah, David is in Prometheus.
David is in Prometheus. Yeah.
So then they're on their way back to the planet, and they get there, and they discover that there is a problem.
Nobody's home.
Mm-hmm.
And they discover the Marines are not gonna be able to save anyone.
Right. Which everybody in the audience, we saw that coming. We knew it's going to be trouble when they get there. So the aliens, all the people are gone, but there's many aliens now, and we see that these are a little bit different. They're like very fast moving, and they can crawl up the walls, and
the design changed. They are different from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
No,
there's different elements to them. The hands are different. Some of the pieces, body parts are different. They don't have the dome on the head that the first one had. You could see underneath that dome in Alien, there was all kinds of detail and like a spine that ran along the top of the head and stuff like that. And in this one, Cameron said, "Oh no, don't put the dome on. It looks cool like that," and to just make them a little bit different, so there's like a different style, slightly different version of that species.
For me, they have like more texture, no? They have more like shapes, and it's not like I don't know, like smooth. Mm-hmm. I see them like that.
And the suits themselves, a lot of them were just like black leotards with the rubber pieces glued on. But a lot of, like, if you saw them in person, you could see a lot of the spandex, with foam pieces glued onto it. But it's so darkly lit and smoky and fast moving that you can't tell. But there's a lot of rubber glue on, but it wasn't like a complete like Creature from the Black Lagoon or Alien, where it's a complete sealed up latex suit of some type.
Okay.
So that was because it's easier to put on, also.
And to move around, I think part of it too was they had to be so mobile and so, the performance was going to be so energetic and all these stunts and jumping and grabbing and that it's like let's re-engineer these suits a little bit to make them easier to move. And
it's not going to be just one. They have to think about there were going to be a lot.
Right, and we have to dress a lot of people. Let's make it easier to get in and out of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So they get there and then they find there is like no one alive but one girl.
Yeah, the little girl.
No? Newt.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got like a bond between Ripley, like a daughter, and kind of like a daughter for her. And that's basically for me like the whole, one of the main things in the movie, that basically she's trying to protect her, and then that's some part of, like at the end of the movie, that's the whole thing that she's trying to do, no?
And actually, that's the whole plot to all the other ones. Because this relationship between Newt and the fact that Ripley doesn't have a daughter anymore, it used that in Alien of 92 and also for Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
Because that bond, actually, it's not just with another human, it's with the aliens. So I think that's the main thing and important thing.
Yeah, like the thing that even in Alien Resurrection, it's even if she's going to be a alien or if she's like kind of this mother alien, she's still a human because she has this feeling of mother, not like to be a mother. So that's something that still makes her human.
Right.
Kind of, no? Okay.
Well, even just something we should address too, even just the character of Ripley herself in Alien and more so in Aliens it was very unusual and it was cool. It was one of the first times you see a strong woman in a lead role. That role would traditionally be just another guy in there. If you go back to the 50s and even the 60s.
Yeah.
Anybody in charge is a guy, so now to have Ripley be the one basically in charge, and it's the smartest one and the bravest one, and, it's pretty cool, pretty groundbreaking.
Yeah, totally. And I think she became the inspiration for many of us. Ripley was a great inspiration because you see like this strong woman as you addressed, saying, well, fuck this, I'm going to explode another ship and I'm going to go for Newt. Right. Even though everything is lost, she's coming back for her. She's taking her home, and she's actually very fucking badass, sorry for the language. And she actually kick ass.
Yes. And I think that it changed the roles, no? Like in the movie, even Jigger said in an interview that he really wanted, or not only Jigger but the crew or Ridley Scott, that they wanted to make uncomfortable the male audience, no? Like being with the thing going out through the stomach. They were like, because it actually feels like in a human way, or like giving birth, you attach it to a woman or to women, no? And then suddenly like giving birth like this in a man, they said like, let's do it in a man because it's going to be like very weird for all the male audience, no? So the roles are changed, no? Like you said, Gabriel, it's like this tough girl that we like at some point people were used to see that it was a guy, a man thing, like to save and like to be the hero and everything. And then now we see a woman, no?
And maybe one of the scenes I love the most in Aliens is the one that she's actually asking the captain to teach her how to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, that's the point when Ripley becomes like my greatest hero from my childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to learn fast and now.
And there's a grenade launcher under the machine gun, and she's like, "What is this?" And he goes, "I don't, don't worry about that." And she's like, "No, tell me. I want to know like everything." Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, so let's go to the. Okay, so we lose all the like all of the Marines almost.
Mm-hmm.
We only
Right.
have left, I think, Vasquez. Then the guy that teaches Ripley to use the gun.
Mm-hmm.
We still have Bishop, the android.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have another one that I don't remember his name, that he's always like very scared.
We have Burke, and then we have Bill Paxton, who's like, "Game over, man." He's like the panicky guy.
Yeah, that one. It's just like,
it's so annoying. I wanted to shoot him all the time.
So we have them, and they are trying to go like out of the planet, but also like destroying everything, no? Like trying to get over with the colony of the aliens.
Yeah, and they have, it's almost like an Alien where the ship is counting down and you can't shut off the self-destruct. The whole reactor that powers this colony has been damaged by the gunfire at the beginning, and it's going to blow up in a few hours, so they have to get out. It's going to be like a nuclear bomb going off.
Yeah.
So what happens is they have their ship, they have the door open basically, and one soldier comes in and you see the aliens fly, and it's like, that ship takes off and it's going to come get them, but of course there's an alien inside, attacks the pilot, the thing crashes, and now
game over, man.
Game over, man. But there's another one up in orbit if they can make a radio, basically like a radio control to get it down. So Bishop volunteers to do that, and he goes, contacts the ship to send the next one down.
Which I really like that. When I saw Bishop going through that like tube, it really made me feel like claustrophobic, because you see it from the inside, like the camera shows, and then you actually see it's super like tight, and he's going to be like, I really
and
like
they
that.
seal the
See,
goes in and they seal it, so it's like there's no turning back. Look forward, and you don't know if this alien can actually go through here.
Yeah.
It's tense.
And he says too, it's like, even I might be synthetic, but it's like, I'm not looking forward to this. It's like, I don't want to do this, but I'll do it. But
Yeah, of course.
So they're left inside, and they're attacked again in a really cool scene where is that where they're looking at their little radars, and they can see the aliens are coming at them, and it's like, okay, they're right outside the door, and they're closer and closer, and it's like, they're 2 meters away, and it's like, that's impossible. They would be in the room, and then they're like, no, like
they lock themselves.
And it's a cool shot because it's upside down, so it looks like the aliens are crawling on the ceiling. It's pretty cool.
And then we still have the guy that runs the whole thing, and then he goes through the door and locks them again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that guy's name, but the actor is I've seen him very in all different movies, no? But Burke, that guy is that you also want to shot him.
Yes. Well, he obtains what he deserves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he gets his.
And then,
and again, there's a scene in Alien that's cut out where Ripley finds Dallas still alive, and he's cocooned on the wall, and he asks her to kill him. Just please kill me. And so she burns him with the flamethrower. There's a scene cut out of Aliens where Ripley comes across Burke, and he's cocooned into the wall, and so she burns him with the flamethrower. And they cut it out of that one too. It's funny, they would do it again and then again just edit it.
And it's not bad. It's not a bad shot. Like, I saw the Dallas one, and I didn't see the one with Burke, but I saw the one with Dallas, and it's not bad.
I heard that it just slowed things down because of her being so frantic to try to get off the ship and running around and all that it just it slowed that down. If you didn't know about it, you didn't miss it because you just thought Dallas was killed like everybody else, and who knows what happened to their bodies.
But then this takes me
and also because you don't think about that,
Right.
You don't think about that.
The alien just kills it and that's it.
But it's just like what happens in this second one. In Aliens, the little girl, they take her, and then she's like, no, they don't kill you. She's still alive. No, but then how would Ripley know this if we haven't seen these other scenes?
Right.
So now she kind of knows because basically she found Dallas in the ship. So that's how she knows that they don't kill you.
Right.
But we don't know that.
Yeah.
We know it until we see Newt, and she is also like in the cocoon, and then. But before that, we don't know.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The only form that you can actually just block out that in your mind if you haven't seen those scenes is because her mother instincts.
Exactly.
She can't lose her, and she's not going to lose her. That's why she's like going on, and she's still like, no, they haven't killed her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so she have like these little.
She has to have faith that Newt is still alive, and it's like I'm going to keep looking until I prove it one way or the other, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So she goes, and then she actually finds her, but she finds as well. Well, she is already carrying the gun that she learned how to use, and I really love that gun because I think the thing that I would use most is the flamethrower, which is a really nice design. Well, she's carrying the gun. She finds her, and then she takes her out before these things get her. And then she realized she's in a field of eggs.
Right. She's in the nest.
Yeah.
And
this is where we learn where the eggs come from, and it's another mother that we meet, which is the queen alien.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool costume / puppet that Stan Winston studio built for the movie, designed by James Cameron and built by Stan Winston studio.
Nice.
It has two guys inside, two people wear the suit because you see it has like the big arms and it has little arms. And they're just on like a big, almost like the Wolf was a. I was on. This is a big one. Two guys are like hung on that with the suit over it, or whatever you want to call it. But and when he's moving around with a puppet out that big, live action little puppet.
Okay.
When it's walking and when it's fighting.
So it's two. I'm so sorry. You will have to repeat that because the connection just went a little bit. So it's two guys.
Yeah, I saw. It's two guys mounted side by side on a big angled structure with the body of the creature around them, and they're operating one arm and then one of the little, because it has 4 arms. There's 2 little arms here and then 2 big arms. And I think they're doing the one big arm and one little arm. The other guy does little arm and one big arm. And then everything else went off of hydraulics or whatever to move the head and, you know, open the mouth and everything.
It makes me feel like a mantis, like an alien mantis.
Yeah.
What, Gabriel?
How heavy was it?
What's that?
Does anybody knows how heavy was it?
Ooh, I don't know, because you'd have to factor in the rig that they're on and the weight of the 2 guys, and then the costume and the puppet pieces itself. Yeah, I don't know. You know,
and the height?
Yeah, because it was. I mean, the head is alone is massive. Yeah, and just the fact that you could hide 2 guys in the thing's torso. I mean, that tells you how big it is.
How big it is.
Yeah.
It's huge.
What I love of her is that actually she's very well done, very well designed, and actually you don't feel that she's newly incorporated. You know, it's part of the same universe. That's what I love about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though James Cameron designed it, it feels like it fits into Giger's world of the alien. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Now that you mention
and also
it,
she's a badass.
See?
That's another great inspiration from a woman's role, if you can say that.
So so Ripley burns up all the eggs, and the whole place is starting to explode and catch on fire, and the reactor's going to blow up. And she rescues Newt, and she gets up to the surface basically because they've been underground, and the Queen alien is following and trying to grab him and everything.
That's also a good thing. She's intelligent. She sees Ripley going through the elevator, so she actually waits for the second elevator so she can actually go up.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the hunter in Jurassic Park said, clever girl. You know?
Yeah, and it's like she's a mom, and you just burned up all my little babies. You know, so I'm not going to stop. I'm coming after you. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also, she's pizza.
Yeah.
Sí, eso también.
Sí, cierto.
Yeah, so she waits for the elevator, goes up, then Ripley gets to the platform and she doesn't see anything, no? She's like, oh damn, Bishop, and she like, he left me here, and then suddenly everything starts floating, and then it's like, how is she going to go out from there? And then the ship is like,
yeah, and it's like, thank you, Bishop.
Yeah.
They actually cut out a scene when the alien queen, she waits for the elevator to go up. There's a scene of her like inside the elevator, and you hear the music playing.
No, you are kidding.
Oh my.
No, that's it. So yeah, Bishop rescues her, and they fly up to the main ship that they have, only to discover the aliens are the expert stowaways.
Expert what?
Stowaways.
¿Qué es eso?
A stowaway, like if you sneak onto a boat or onto a ship, or you stow away on a plane, like you. You
ya,
hide.
como un polizonte.
Como te escondes, ajá.
Un polizonte.
Sí, son polizontes.
Okay.
So I don't know how she got onto the ship.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, Bishop's talking, and all of a sudden, poof, the tail goes through, almost like a chest burster. Yeah, this massive tail, and as the queen has stabbed him, and then she grabs him and pulls him apart, and comes walking. Amazing. Yeah, it's cool. Comes walking out of the drop ship that they had. Mm-hmm. But it's like, when Ripley and Newt went on, didn't they notice this like 20-foot monster like sneak on like right behind him? I don't. Movie magic. She's just there somehow.
Yes, and she couldn't even be there because of her size.
They didn't even feel like the ship went a little bit down because of the weight. No, nothing.
Yeah.
Nope. No.
So because it was in the script, now she's on the ship.
Because
and
she was in the script.
it was written.
Yeah.
So Ripley uses that power loader exoskeleton thing to fight with the Queen so that they're a little more evenly matched strength-wise. And it's very well done. And that's where they had a little, like that tall, with a little Sigourney Weaver puppet. And a Queen alien that was about that tall. And they were rod puppets, and they were just framed so that the rods were hidden. And they were shot live action, it's not stop motion. And it was just intercut between like the big full-size Queen head and Sigourney Weaver in the thing, and then the little puppets, and it's really well done.
I must say a couple of things about that. First of all, America actually knows how to operate things like it. You saw it in the beginning of the movie. Actually, knows how to. Okay.
No, Gabriel, I am losing you both. You have to say it again because I am losing you.
No, why? Okay, so
first,
a couple of things is first, how does Ripley know how to operate that? If she was like asleep for 57 years, and it's the first time she actually used that, no? No,
she says she has a license. A license number no sé qué, that because she was a cargo with the cargo in the first movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so she says like, but I have a license, I don't know what, I know how to use it, and then she goes inside and she's like
I think what it is too is that because she got in so much trouble after blowing up the Nostromo, that the only job she could get was moving freight around, and she uses one of those things. I think they mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the second thing is that you can feel when it's a puppet and all these things you were describing, Even if it's an intercut and it's very well done, you can actually feel it like a little clumsy, and it's very... I'm going to give you a punch.
Because it's not Ray Harryhausen. It's not a Ray Harryhausen puppet. That's why the movements are so bad.
You can tell. I mean, you can see where it goes back and forth what they're using. But really, there's no other way then of doing it. And he didn't want to use stop motion, and thought maybe to slow down the footage of puppets battle. Use them very quickly. But and so of course Ripley open an airlock and try to throw the alien out. That's the way to do it. And that's,
nice.
It's beginning to be her trademark.
Yes.
Yeah.
If in trouble, I'm just going into the space.
It's going to be like, throw him.
Because you see it like in all the rest of the movies.
See.
That's my only main issue with all the alien movies, is that the plot may be the same. We're trapped. There's a lot of aliens. And the way to killing them. They use that so many times that it's like, can't you be more creative on how to kill this thing? Though you also said that they're almost unkillable.
See?
Right.
From this scene, what I love is when she opens the door, the alien goes out, but Bishop and Newt are trying to like dealing with the strength of the you know what
it's explosive decompression of all the atmosphere inside the ship,
and then she
rushing out into the vacuum.
Newt is like going, and then she pulls, like she takes Bishop, and he's also like trying to not going with the thing.
Right.
I love that scene.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's really effective. They cut between Bishop puppet, from here up, and then actually Lance Henriksen, with a hole in the floor, with the fake robot body on the front, that makes it look like he's cut in half.
Yes.
It's really cool.
That's a nice one.
And it looks very good, actually. It doesn't look like the first head in Alien.
Right.
It looks more organic, actually.
Yeah, obviously that's a big step up because, you're dealing with, well, for one thing, you're dealing with experienced Hollywood special effects people that, were at that time, I'm not saying it's still the way now, but at that time were better than European counterparts. Now those guys are amazing. You see work coming from England, Spain, all over the world. It's incredible. But back to, in the 70s, it was a little bit crude.
See, because we are from the U.S. and Hollywood. I see.
I just thought it. I didn't say it.
It was.
I can't say it.
I'll tell you. When we did American Werewolf in London.
Sorry.
When we did American Werewolf in London, they gave us a head. When the wolf comes through the porno theater door and he bites the cop and the head comes off, they made the head in England. And you could have painted a coconut and put a wig on it, and it would have been just as good. It was so bad. And we had a hand.
Malvado.
We have a hand that's bitten off, and it's just latex and polyfoam. But the British effects guys were looking at it, and they didn't. It's latex and polyfoam, and they're like, "How did you make this?" Because there was no seam on it, and they didn't understand how you would make something that didn't have a visible seam everywhere, because that's just how they made stuff, So, I mean, it's just the technical excellence of some people in Hollywood.
Kevin.
Well, I'm
we are not going further.
It's Stan Winston and it's Rick Baker.
Yes.
Is better than, shop guys in England at that time.
Okay.
We're Mexicans. We can't say anything about it.
Yeah. We have Del Toro.
But he uses makeup artist from Spain. Shut it.
Okay, Kevin, go ahead. Messing with Kevin.
Huh?
Messing with Kevin.
Messing with Kevin. Back to, I just want to mention about the ship, the alien ship from the first one. Bob Burns had it over to his place, and I got to go over there and look at all his collection of stuff. He had the Queen alien's head, and he had the alien ship. He had a bunch of stuff. He had the tanks from Terminator. Those big robot tanks.
Where does he live?
in Burbank. Yeah, I know. He's got amazing stuff.
Can we get him a mezcal?
No, I don't think Bob does that. But the ship itself, there was an internal framework to it, and then I think it had carved styrofoam or something over this metal framework. But the outer skin of it was clay. It was plastiline. It was just all sculpted and then all airbrushed, and then they just put that on the set and filmed it. They didn't make a mold of it and cast it or anything like that. They just used it like that. And over time, one of the arms that's up broke off. And in Aliens, there's a scene that they cut out of the movie where Newt's parents discover the ship, and they reused the same one from the original, and they had it broken it was years later and it was falling apart. And so they left it broken because Cameron thought it looked cool that way. But
I think it's in the movie.
You can see it in the DVD extras, but I don't think in the theatrical release that it was in. I know there's extended versions of it where it's in, and also when they're fighting the aliens, they have like remote control machine guns set up. Things like that in the theatrical version they cut out, just time for timelines. So yeah, it depends which version of the movie you see.
Yeah. I've only seen the DVD one. I mean,
okay, then
wasn't even born yet. I was born 1 year.
No, I wasn't even born.
No. So you can't see it theatrical also. So no, only DVD. Sorry, Kelly. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it should have been very cool to see it like in the movie theater.
Yeah, I saw it with Elaine in down in Hollywood at the Pacific Theater, somewhere in Hollywood. Yeah, when it came out, it was very exciting.
Nice.
How cool!
Did she like it?
Yeah, very much. Her favorite thing was when they look up in the ceiling and the aliens are upside down. She was like, ah! and she really liked Bishop. So when I worked on a movie with Lance Henriksen, and I said, my wife thought you were great in Aliens. And he's like, oh, thank you.
Nice.
How cute.
Yes.
So yeah, and then it's like a whole franchise that just keeps going, and then Alien versus Predator, and just all kinds.
Which I haven't seen it. Should I see it? Should I see it?
No. You can erase that. Never happened.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen it. I am so sorry for what I'm going to say, but I haven't even seen Predator.
What?
No, never.
The original? You haven't seen the original one? Oh, wow.
No, I haven't seen it.
Shame.
I know. I'm so sorry. That's why I said, I don't know if I should say it, but I said it.
Yeah, you already said it. I'm not going
to judge you.
I'm not going to judge you, but also I'm not going to forget that.
Well, I can always see it every time, but
the next one should be Predator. Then.
Yeah.
I worked on Predator. I worked on
See?
that.
Yes, I know.
Double shame.
Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you.
But that one, I think it looks the best in the original Predator. This Predator 2, I thought his head was too big. I don't think it looked as good as the first one. And then, like the Alien versus Predators, they're kind of hit and miss. I don't really care. The very first one, it looks the most natural and the coolest to me.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it and then I'll let you know next week.
Okay.
By the way, what are we going to talk about next week? Well,
we could do.
Are we?
You want to do what?
Are we finished with Alien?
Well, just a couple of mentions. In the other movies, there are new additions to the Alien family.
Mm-hmm.
We just talk about that, like the Dogomorph from Alien of '92. Do you remember that Dogomorph?
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah, when she goes.
The Rottweiler alien mashup.
Right.
Yeah.
She's in that like prison planet, and the alien it attacks a dog, and it has like a dog shape to it now. Yeah, and that switched over to ADI, started doing the effects for that one, and then the next one.
Resurrection, no?
Resurrection, right.
Mm-hmm.
They worked on both of those doing the effects. And the dog alien was a little rod puppet too. Not all the time, but a lot of times he was a little puppet.
Mm-hmm. And it's cute because actually Giger had one sketch. You can actually saw it in his work or in the exhibition, which is like the pre-Dogomorph. He doesn't call it Dogomorph in that state, but he had like this figure, like this alien in 4 legs instead of in 2.
Cool.
So probably they grabbed that.
Yeah.
Like inspiration for the Dogomorph. And also the sequence where the alien is just going through this labyrinth, going to the forge because they are going to throw him in the. They changed it, so they are going to throw him in the forge, and you can see the alien moving through the walls and in the ceiling and looking like very bad. Sorry, it looks bad. It looks like they put it in there. They recorded the alien moving and they just glue it in the most miserable way in the walls and in the just check it out. It actually looks bad.
Yeah, the opticals were a little not the greatest on that. The next one, Resurrection, has the suits are nicely done. You just can't. Two things. You can't beat that original one on the tall, skinny guy in Alien. Just looks so awesome. And also, by the time you get to Resurrection and there's like a bunch of aliens walking around, the shock has worn off of seeing it. You know, now he's just like, oh, there's an alien. You know, it's like seeing Frankenstein in a movie. You know, and it's like, oh, there's Frankenstein. But there's nothing really. You're just like, hey, my old friend.
Okay.
It's not that first, like, oh, what the hell is that thing?
Yeah. And also I feel like Resurrection, it actually feels like, it's like the fourth movie. No, if I may say, like the Prometheus and then the other one, those I do feel like kind of new ones. Like it takes me actually to like before, or I don't know. It's just a different feeling than Resurrection. Like you said, it's like it's the fourth, no? But then
it's the same.
The story of Prometheus, even though it's from the same saga, it's like different. It for me it makes me feel again like something is going to happen.
Yeah, it feels a little bit new. It's because also in Alien Resurrection, you bring Ripley back.
Right.
That's not good. Sorry, but that's not good. You're actually, you see that the formula it's functioning. Also, you have the budget, you have the strength. I don't know why they do it. They look lovely. They are intelligent. It's the first movie that actually like puts them so intelligent, and that actually the scientist wants to make them learn things, which terrorize me. It's very scary. Like this super alien capable of killing all mankind learn stuff. That's the only part that I actually feel scary. And the other thing is the Queen. Now the Queen is going to give birth. She's not going to have eggs. And also the newborn. Let's talk about those guys. They are huge. The newborn needed 9 puppeteers. That's insane.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how even they did it. How do you put 9 guys moving one guy? What huge guy.
Yeah, well, it's another one of those things, almost like the Queen, where it's got to be kind of near a wall to cut a hole through and have the support arm come out and all the control rods and everything. Then you have remote. I'm not sure what was used where in it. It's either pulling a cable to move something, or you're working a transmitter. For like remote control motors to make things move. But yeah, the pretty cool design to it. I kind of like it. The shape of the body, I think, is really interesting.
Yeah.
He's half fetus, half human, half alien. It's like this weird mashup, and actually I'm in love with his eyes more than his period.
Yeah, just like the really dark eyes. Yeah.
Because he's looking to replay, and he actually looks like he cares, and she's his mother, and there's love between those black little eyes. Oh my God.
Well, they give him like the real sympathetic look too.
See?
Yes.
It's pretty funny.
They play with the design that you can feel kindness.
Yeah.
And also the way he died, which is pretty much the same way the other ones, but it's painful.
More painful, yeah, because he gets sucked out through the little hole instead of a big door. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's just like, well, let's make him die like the other ones, but maybe just a little bit like turn something different. Oh, see, just in a little hole.
So he can actually feel how all the angels are just being sucked up. Poor guy. I just feel
like
very bad for him.
In Goldfinger. That's how James Bond kills Goldfinger at the end. They're in a jet, and they shoot out a window, and Goldfinger gets sucked out through the little porthole. The little. So.
Yes, but Goldfinger wasn't like a cute alien, so I didn't. Sorry.
It was worth it to mention.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we have Prometheus and Covenant, Alien Covenant. Yeah. Which has interesting designs in there too, of like the different versions of the creatures. And the engineers, are great.
Yes, those are. I really like the design of those and the concept. Because it's like totally. I didn't see it coming. No, it's just like okay, so let's see what brings, and then suddenly it's even like before everything, even before the arachnid thing, and that we know how everything works with Alien. It's like something different, and it's something more like between scientists, religion,
some,
no? Yeah, so
and also part military, because they want to destroy Earth because everybody wants to destroy the Earth. I don't know. It was in the script, like Kevin said. They needed to kill every human in all the planets.
Yeah.
Apparently. But they are beautiful. I mean, what I really love is that they turn to one of the most emblematic and gorgeous designs of Giger, which is the pilot, and this pit hole, because that's the name of the artwork. It's the pilot and the pit hole.
Yeah.
And actually, it's very, very gratifying to see these beings come to life and also move, and how this is just a helmet.
Right.
And it's not like their final form. And you understand a lot of things about that, and also this. You have the opportunity to see this amazing ship inside with detail, and all the detail that actually.
No, I think I lost. Yeah, you too, Kevin?
She's gone.
But it's lovely. Sorry.
Yes.
No, it's okay. It's just that we lost you for a minute. Well, for a second.
No.
You're connecting it, but a little bit blurred. Better, getting better.
We're there? No, not yet.
Not quite. Not all the way.
Not quite?
Okay. No, that I see you very, very blurry. I don't know, Kevin.
Yeah, Gabrielle is clearing up, getting better, and you're a little. Now you're about the same. Tiny bit blurry.
Sorry.
Tiny bit.
If I could do like my eyes like a chameleon, I will do it. But I can't.
No. Not just yet. You should keep practicing. So yeah, that's what I like of Prometheus.
Yeah, and even that they chose to do them practical, as opposed to digital effect, I thought was really cool. Because when I first saw the movie, it's like, is that computer?
That's what.
Yeah, and it's like, that's real. Like those are guys in suits. It's like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
But some of them, not about the guys, but the sets.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had also, obviously, because it's different times and the time passed and everything. They went like better with the technology, with the like everything with us. They somehow had help with the computers, with the effects, and now we can see everything better. I don't know if I mean, I like it. I really love the how Prometheus, especially Prometheus, looks like. But at the same time, it's like the like always, no, like the analogic work, like the set, like building everything. It's always so nice to see it physically than the digital things, no, or the like with the computer. But anyways, it's like if they did it like both things, physically or analogic with digital, then it still shows like a very great job or work in it, no?
Yeah.
So I think this is Prometheus. It's the one that where the like the old, to say it that way, the old alien with the new one meet. No? That's how I see it.
And in Covenant, we get pretty close to the original alien shows up in that one. But I don't think it looks anywhere as good. I mean, you can tell that it's supposed to be, an alien. But his head is just too
curved.
It just doesn't. There are really subtle shapes in the original Alien. The shell that comes down and then it comes out a little bit, and the way that the skull is inside and the jaw is formed looks really nice to me. And this one was just too rounded off in the front. Like it didn't. There's some cool shots like where he's pounding his face against the windshield to try to break his wind. Was just bashing it with his head. But I just don't think it looked as good as other ones. Designed.
Yeah, Covenant, I liked it, but then again, I feel that it's like, okay, so now again it's getting like too much and too much of the same.
Yeah.
For me.
And we also have the neomorph, I think it's called. We have Deacon in Prometheus. We have Deacon and the Trilobite, which are like the new creatures. Also the Hammerhead.
Right.
Yeah. The Hammerhead, which is like this penis face hugger. I don't know. It's because it's that.
See. Like all the designs there are kind of based on that.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, you have the Hammerhead. Sorry, it's called Hammerhead. And then you have the Deacon, which is the one that goes out from the engineer, the mashup of the trilobite of the engineer, and I think in Covenant is Neomorph. The first one is like pale skin.
Right. That yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just a geek of Alien.
Nah, it's okay.
And I love them, sorry. So yeah, we have this, and yeah, I think in both cases they like inspired by the goblin shark because of this the part of the jaw in Prometheus actually just gets out exactly like a goblin shark. I don't know if you notice that.
No.
Yeah. So
nice.
It's cool.
I'm gonna see it with different eyes.
You should.
There's a movie. You said this is like science fiction mixed with terror at the beginning. There's a movie from 1958, I think, and it's called The Terror from Beyond Space. And it's about a spaceship that lands on Mars, and when they take off to come back to Earth, a Martian alien monster has stowed away, has snuck onto their spaceship, and then starts killing them one by one. And that's sort of the inspiration for Alien, or at least it's very similar. I'm sure those guys grew up watching it, because I did. It was on TV, late night horror movie shows. That was one of my favorites. A little bit similar.
I now remember that you were going to tell the story of this guy that has the pilot, and then you said but I'll tell it later. Did you already?
Yeah, because it was about the ship, about Bob Burns having the ship, the alien ship.
And he haven't told us exactly where does he live. He already mentioned. I'm just waiting for the moment. I'm not going to do anything.
He's got. Rick gave him a bunch of stuff too, Rick Baker. So he's got the American Werewolf in London suit. He's got the Jack puppet. He's got the time machine from 1963 or whatever. The one with the big rotating dish in the back. And, he's got that in his house. Really cool. He's got King Kong. He's got the armature that was in 1933.
He doesn't live in a house. He lives in a museum.
Kind of, yeah. He added he built an addition onto the house and put all the stuff in there. And so it's all spaceship miniatures from different TV shows and costumes. He's got Ripley's jumpsuit from Alien.
Qué loco.
Yeah, a bunch of different things. Yeah. He's a collector, and people just give him stuff, and it's like, here, put it on display, and then sometimes he'll let people come in and take a look at it.
Nice. Okay.
So I know where I'm traveling when we can, if we can, sometime.
Can travel again.
Yes, let's hope we can go soon. Wherever.
Yes.
Sí, Playa del Carmen. I saw it.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Well, we should all meet in Playa del Carmen then.
Sí, vamos a Isla Blanca.
Sí.
Or Mexico City. We could go to Califa. Tacos.
Ay, sí. O podemos ir al desierto de los leones, Kevin, with the soup, with the mushroom soup.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe Mexico City we should go first.
I'll be waiting.
Okay, cool.
For you guys.
All right.
Okay. Well, guys, let's leave it here. We already talked about the 6 movies that we have for aliens, and blah, blah, blah. What do you think about for next
Should
week?
we say goodbye or just?
Yes.
Yes?
We should say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Say
so
goodbye.
we can actually
But then we'll-
meet and then
Then
we'll
it's
keep
gonna
talking.
be a surprise for the people that is watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you guys. And chicos que nos ven en YouTube, no olviden suscribirse, denle like. Igual tenemos el canal en la página en Facebook e Instagram MDW-Riviera Maya.
Sí, síganos, chicos.
Adiós. Muchas gracias.